Ladies and gentlemen, this is your entire comprehensive guide for the Kowakujo Easter egg. This is going to show you all of the steps and how to do them in a very easy way, and also how to get to the boss fight. Now, you need to know a couple of things before you even touch the game. If you're not level 50, I recommend coming over here to your progression and permanently unlocking the decoy grenade, as you will need it later. The other thing I'm going to recommend you do is gobblegum setup. This is what I'm going to be running, as well as my weapon, but you want to make sure you have at least raindrops, or you have immolation liquidations, because fire sales will also make a certain step in this way easier. Once you have this set up, you are now good to go to jump in game. Okay, so as soon as you spawn into the game, if you have your perkaholic, I recommend using it, as it will give you perks that will make some of the later steps in the Easter egg way easier. You don't need to do anything too specific in the early game on round 1. However, in this Easter egg, you can do a lot of stuff on early rounds. So the more points you have, the more gobblegum you have to optimize and keep the rounds low is going to be better. But all you really have to do is push through, follow the objective markers, and go and open up and capture these wards. It's very simple to do. You just stand in it for a period of time and they capture. However, what this is doing is allowing you to open the map, and this will actually allow us to access a couple of pieces for the Easter egg that we will be able to acquire before we even open Pack-a-Punch. So we're going to be looking for 3 parts of the Mineko grenade. The first one is just right here outside the spawn. You're looking for this bell. If you don't see it there, the second location can be right here on the stables, just kind of above this beam, and then the third one will be in the training area on this board above the wall by. Now, the next part will be inside the castle itself. You're looking for this small figure, and it's very noticeable. It looks like this. The first location is right here just in front of PhD Flopper. If it isn't there and you can't find it in that spot, it will be over here on the right side on this desk, where you can pick it up just by that lamp. And then if it's not at that spot, you can just simply come over here, look next to this pot, and it will be in the corner just there. That is the second piece, and just make sure that you acquire it, and it should look like that on your quest item retrieved. The next part is the actual Mineko itself. It's right here in the kitchens on the barrel. If it's not on that spot, go to the other side of the kitchens, and you should see it right here in this left corner. And if it's not there, this one is actually a little bit trickier. It's over near the Speed Cola section where the prisons are. But either way, grab that part, and then you are good to go to head to the top of the castle and begin the Pack-a-Punch quest, which you begin by destroying the Oni here. And once he's killed, he will drop a stamp, which is a quest item. And also, while you're here, make sure you go ahead and pick up the ceramic shard that's behind this blood stain as well. That is a quest item that will be useful later on. Next, just simply continue to follow the objective markers, make your way upstairs to where the world seed can be found, and you're going to need to kill a couple of zombies here to collect souls. After enough is completed, that will spawn in the Pack-a-Punch machine, and now you have access to upgrade your guns, and this is technically where the quest itself begins. But now we have that grenade, we can also build it over on the bench. This can be accessed at any time from this bench itself. Now, you're going to want to knock down the cat by either jumping with PhD Flopper, rolling, or wall jumping near this cat, but you need Flopper in order for this cat cage to drop. And then once you have that, simply pick it up and bring it over to this lake of lava and toss her in. Don't worry, she'll be just fine. Next, come over to the stables whenever you have a Semtex or a Molotov, and while the lava is cooled, throw down a grenade on this little figure, and it should shoot it out of the lava and allow you to pick the item up, the Netsuke of Brothers. And once you have this, bring it over to the evidence board. I would get in the habit of, whenever you collect a new evidence item, just come over here and make sure you place it on the meditation room. So after that, next, you can try to get a kill in front of this location in the gatehouse and see if smoke comes up. If not this location, simply try the next one, which will be just here outside the flower garden. Kill a zombie in this spot, and if a puff of smoke doesn't come up there, try over here in the kitchens or the central courtyard just outside this gate. And if it's not there, try the training area door, and that should do it. And one of these locations will have a puff of smoke and some paw prints. Just follow those around, and then get a kill like 7 or 8 meters past the next one, and then another puff of smoke will come up. Do this until you reach where the cat is laying down, where there's a bunch of these, and then throw the Mineko into the center of this, and the real cat will come and destroy the toy. So once that's broken, the real cat will then become an abomination you must kill. This enemy doesn't really do a whole lot, and honestly, it's a little bit buggy. I'm not sure why it doesn't seem to die sometimes, but just kill it, and then the actual cat that comes from this abomination will run away, and then will reappear the next round. Now we need to collect the cat who will be sleeping. The first location can be right here in the kitchens in the back of the corner, and you can see with depth perception that there are these creaky floorboards that you don't want to touch. If the cat is purring, you can hear it from kind of far away, away, and you can see it right there, you know, in one of these locations it will be at, and your job is to use depth perception to see where the creaky floorboards are and avoid them so that you don't disturb the cat or wake her up, and you can pick her up safely. Once you have her in your hands, simply take her up to the world seed, and she will begin to feed on it for a little bit. This takes about 20 seconds or so, and then afterwards, you will then need to start meleeing the world seed as it tries to pulse to keep you away from it. You got to do this 3 times, hit it a couple times as much as you can, and then after, the Nekomato will drop down, and you now have your kitty wonder weapon. Now, as soon as you've collected her, you can actually do a couple of Easter egg steps right away, but before you do anything else, the thing I recommend you do is go and collect the empty pouch, which you can grab by throwing up on this beam and then picking it up, and it's as easy as that with the cat wonder weapon. The next thing you need to do is also with the cat, shoot this lantern, and then you need to shoot the rest of them as well. So that's the first one, and I'm just going to show you the entire route of how you need to do this. Every time you shoot a lantern, you're going to get a speed boost. So this lantern coming up here is number 4. Shoot it to light it up. You have a limited time to hit these, but honestly, you have a pretty fair window, and given the speed boost that this will give you, and especially if you just practice running the route a couple of times before you try it for real, it's not too bad. I do believe if you fail it, you will need to flip the round, so just try to do it once you feel confident enough to run the route. The next one is over here just past the staging area where the stables are here in the corner. That one's kind of tricky to see, and then there is one that's outside the map just past this cherry blossom tree that you can shoot, and then the final one, if you've done all of those, should be right there next to the tea garden. You'll get a musical sting, and the lanterns will stay on if you've done it correctly. That is really how you know. Now, as soon as you've done that, head upstairs to the war room, and you should see this ghost that will activate a cutscene. Wait for this to play out and pick up any pieces you haven't here, and also come over to this shelf where there should be a poison compendium right there. Just pick that up and then take that over to the evidence board. Again, I always recommend just taking everything you collect new and putting it on the board if you can. Once that's there, the next thing we're going to do is hop on the glider, and then we're going to hold right at the tree so that we take the right side path, and then as you crest this building, just mash your interact button, and you should pick up that fox mask that's hanging on the edge of that building. Once you've acquired it, take the fox mask back to the storage rooms and place it on the center. Now, you're going to get flashed a pattern of masks, and you need to kill those zombies in that order. I recommend doing this at the very end of a round so you only have one real zombie left, and your job is just to play Simon Says with killing zombies that have those particular masks. This step is really easy to do. You just have to follow along and make sure you don't kill anything you're not supposed to in that amount of time. You'll do 3 sections of this, and then once the third one is completed, the mask should glow blue, and you will get another cutscene. However, we're not quite done with this step as of yet, because as soon as this cutscene finishes, the mask is going to fly away going to 3 locations, and you need to shoot the mask in this order. One is right there just on that bookshelf. You'll pick up an apart from that will come out of that mask. The second piece is actually up here on this beam inside the collapsed study. You'll pick up Takio's case, and then third and finally is probably the trickiest spot, but it's just outside the left of the elemental pop machine, and you can see it right here in this corner, and then that should give you the comb. We're going to come through here on this door, and we're going to follow the mask all the way upstairs to the world seed, which it should go inside. You'll interact with that, and at this point you should get a musical sting signifying that you've done that correctly. Now, I will say at any point, if you see this fissure where you can see this smoke, right, where it kind of makes this area toxic, hang out here, because the reason we grabbed that bag earlier is if at any point you're walking around doing these steps and you have time to hang out in this area after you've acquired that empty pouch, do it, as you'll need to run around here for approximately a minute until you collect volcanic ash. It takes a little while, but you'll see it pop up on your screen eventually. Side note, fissures can come to any location. It doesn't have to be exactly here where I'm showing in this video, but just any fissure location you get, just hang out there while you have the empty pouch. Now, next we're going to be collecting a whole lot of parts. So the first one is over here in the kitchen, and we're going to melee this basket until this plum falls out, and then you're going to jump on it 2 or 3 times until it breaks, and you're going to pick up the plum pit quest evidence item. Next, you're going to come over here to the flower garden and pick up that monk shoe bud on the ground, and you're going to take those 2 things just up to the castle. You're going to place those items inside that flower pot, and then you're going to find a living cherry blossom tree, melee it 3 times until you get this cherry blossom buff, and you'll know that you'll see this like pink around your screen, and you'll have an overheal. It's really important you don't get hit here because you need a tornado to spawn, which will just take some time. It's a patience game. You don't want to get hit and just wait here for maybe a couple of minutes until that tornado spawns, but be standing on that flower pot when you do so that the tornado will infuse it, and then you can pick up the item that it will give you, and then of course go and place your evidence seconds down. The next thing you can do is go back to the kitchen and melee this fruit basket until this red fruit falls out. Once you do that, don't eat it, don't do anything with it, just run away and stay away from this area for like a whole minute. And then once you've been gone for a bit, come back and you should see a zombie kind of caught in the act, right? He'll be eating the fruit on the ground and he will wake up to come and chase you. Don't kill him, just simply walk him all the way down to the area very close to spawn and kill him exactly right here where I just did, kind of in front of this barrier, and you should get a merchant special zombie to spawn. Go ahead and kill him and he will drop 2 items, an abacus and also a paper. Pick up both of those. Once you've done that, go and place your evidence once again, and then the next thing we can do is actually acquire another set of occupational evidence. You're going to want to grab a bucket. You can do that either here in the onsens and pick up some water, or there's also a bucket in the tea garden area. Pick up some water, and keep in mind, if you get hit or if you initiate a sprint, you will spill water, so just be patient and walk the water all the way to this area and water this first shrub right there. The second one is across the bridge, and you can actually do this fun little drop down without wasting any water. And then the second one is just off the side of the bridge right here, and then the third and final one is a couple feet down from it on the stone path right there. Now, once all 3 are watered, you should see these plants glow yellow, which is the gardener's shield. You need to shoot both of these to disable them, which will disable the gardener's vulnerability, and once his shields are down, you can kill him, and again, just like the last zombie, he will also drop 2 items. Pick both of them up. This next part is why I recommended the immolation gobblegum or raindrops, as this now would be a great time to get them. Run around to each mystery box location in the map until you find a wooden charm on the right side of one of the spots. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. What you need to do here is pop your immolation or raindrops when you found the mystery box location that has the charm, as you see right there, and also make sure you have Menekaneko grenades, and then go ahead and spawn the mystery box there, either naturally or with a fire sale. And while the box is in, throw your Menekaneko as close as you can to the wooden charm, and then spin the box, and then start interacting with the box once the Menekaneko is out. And once you're interacting with that, then you should be given this coin purse, as you see right there. Once you pick up the coin purse, you can go back to the spawn room and walk around to this section, and you should see it kind of floating right there in the middle. Interact with it and you'll get yet another cutscene. Now, for this next part is why I recommended unlocking decoy grenades, as you're going to need 3 of these, so make sure you have 3 either in your inventory or 1 laying around that you can get close by. You're going to want to throw 3 decoys at each of these shutters, or I guess 1 for each, but after throwing your third one, all of the shutters will open and a noble will start tossing grenades out of them. You need to throw these back at him to kill him, but he will often drop a grenade and then move to another shutter. So what my advice is throw a grenade where he's going to be, not where he's at. This step is really easy once you figure that out, and then eventually when you kill him, he'll drop the hat. And then, as always, go over and place on the evidence board in the meditation room. Go immediately downstairs and you should see this puzzle that you can now start knifing to interact with it. Your job is to simply push all of them in. This is very, very easy. All you need to know is that each one moves the adjacent one next to it. So if you hit one in the middle, it's going to move one on the left and right side. Your job is just to push all of them in, and you have a lot of time to do this. It's a really easy puzzle. You don't need a solver or anything like this for it. Just a little bit of trial and error and, thinking about it. And once you've completed this puzzle, it will drop 2 items itself. You'll see the completion looks like this, and if they all start kind of poking out, then you'll know you've done this puzzle correctly. It will drop 2 items. Once again, as always, pick up the pestle and also the death note. Place anything on evidence board you haven't, and then go over to an arsenal station and put brain rot on your gun and interact with this pot in the kitchen. It should start cooking a poison, and what you need to do is get brain rot kills right next to this pot. Now, it's very easy to do, like every soul will count, but it does need a lot, so just take your time. After enough kills, then a knife will spawn and you can interact with it to initiate a cutscene. After the cutscene's over, go to the back left in the kitchen and pick up the pufferfish poison evidence. At this point in the quest, if you're following along, your tab should look something like that. Then go to the second portrait and pick up the shards that will be on it, and then go and repair the sake cup right here. After repaired, flip the round. Once the round is flipped, it will become a memory. You can interact with it, let the cutscene play out, and after the cutscene is complete, it will go back to being a regular sake cup. Pick the sake cup, and then we're going to spawn in 3 different evidence parts. The first one is over here in the war room. You can get this by placing down the sake cup on this wooden post, and and then defend it while zombies are trying to kill it. You'll do this for about 10 seconds or so, and then you'll do the second one over here in the study, place this down, exact same deal, just defend it, and then the third and final one is over here in the tea garden, place it right next to this portrait of the fish, and then defend it. But instead of getting this item, a hellhound is going to come in and steal it, and he's moving really quickly, so what you need to do is intercept him as he's running around the map, and then kill him, and then pick up the tea whisk. Now, the other two locations are going to have items you need to pick up. This one over here is the mountain, and it's associated with the horse, which will be important later. Just remember that, take mental note. The second one is the calligraphy pen or brush, and this is associated with the bird. Just again, take mental note of that. And then finally, you can always remember that the fish is associated with the tea whisk because it's in the tea garden. Just take mental note of that as well. Now, the next thing you can do is place all of those things on the evidence board, and if done correctly up to this point, you should see this fourth portrait spawn in. Once that's spawned in, you can come over downstairs to where this clock is going to be and interact with it, and then melee it. It's going to give you a sequence of 4 numbers, and in my game, it was 6, 2, 8, and 5. And once you have your 4 numbers, write them down, keep them handy somewhere, and the next round should force an assault wave to spawn. If not, flip the next round, and then that should be an assault wave. But as you progress through, you'll get your next assault wave, and the only thing that will be different is that you'll have these zombies carrying flags. Just kill them, and then progress the assault wave and finish it. The next thing we're going to do is place those flags that just spawned in, and the flags will have a literal number of objects on them, and the flags only spawn around this area, so don't worry about that. This is a super easy step to do. All we need to do is place the flags down in the proper locations, and the way you work that out is that there are 4 locations where they can be placed. One of them is right here, just at spawn, the outer ward. The second one is right here, denoted by those blue marks. The third one is over here by the central courtyard, and the fourth and final one is over at the stable. Now keep in mind, you need to look at the markings because those indicate what order the flags go down in. So the order that you're using is your number from the clock. So my first number on the clock was 6. I'm going to take that 6 flag, the one that had 6 objects, and take it over to the mark 1, which is right here, and then you can place that flag in the bamboo shoot right next to it. Now let's say you have a situation where you have an 8, like I did. My third number was an 8, and there is no flag that comes to 8, so I'm going to add them together. I put a 3 and a 5 right next to each other at my third numeric spot, and then my fourth and final one is at stables, and then I'm also going to add 2 numbers together in order to make 5. Now, as you can see, once you've done that correctly, you've inputted your clock codes on those respective areas, you will then be given the medallion. It's a really easy step once you know how it works. Go and place any evidence down, and then the next thing you're going to do is go over to the flower gardens and run the trap. You're going to get a whole bunch of zombies, run the ghostly rifleman trap, which can be activated by interacting with these statues. It's a free trap, and then after they've killed some zombies, head to the top floor and start interacting with this barrier right here. A ghost soldier will spawn in, and then he'll actually tell you who did it. He will basically say, I saw somebody walking around that area. In my case, he said courtier, which is the noble, and in your case, it could be the gardener or the merchant, and you're going to be essentially using that information to place down whatever occupational evidence that was suggesting. So for example, mine was the courtier, so the noble's hat will go here in the second slot. Also, the comb will always go in slot 1, and the medallion will always go in slot 5. Slot 2 is the occupation, so for me it was the noble, and slot 3 is the poison. For me it was the pufferfish. The way you look at this is seeing how his dad died, and if it's ingestion or something like that, then it's the pufferfish. For the fourth slot, look what animal is shown here. If it's the fish, then it is that tea whisk. If it shows a mountain, then that's the horse. If it shows a bird, then that's the calligraphy brush, and that's what you place into the fourth slot. Now, once you have all of the correct evidence items in, you need to look at when he died. So mine was death of the hare, and then you can compare that to the poison compendium and showing how long it takes to die from something. So if the pufferfish kills you in 1 hour, and if Takio's dad died at the hour of the hare, then you subtract it by 1. Now, if all this sounds confusing, I'm going to have a solver for you down in the description. Click on this, go to this website, and you can enter in what you're working with in your game, and it will tell you exactly what you need to input where and what your times should be. You'll enter in what positions are where, and for example, if you set the dial to hare and you need to minus 1 hour, then the zodiac in your game will need to be set to tiger. It's really not as confusing as it sounds. It's just kind of intercomplicated with how different your game could be. But try that website if you're having some trouble. But then once you've confirmed that you have the right evidence pieces in the correct spots and the zodiac dial is on the right animal, then you can confirm your choice. You can confirm your choices by interacting with these 2 pots on the left and right side. If you got it wrong, the board will clear and you can try again next round. If you got it right, then this orange orb will spawn in, getting you ready for the boss fight. Now, this is going to teleport you into the preamble for the boss fight, and once you go up here to interact with the world seed, you're going to face off against a super-powered Oni. This is the preamble, and this isn't too hard. All you need to do is shoot the masks that are flying around the area that are either trying to kill you or run away. You just need to take down these masks in order to make the Oni vulnerable. It's pretty easy to do. It just really depends on how quickly you can shoot the masks out of the sky. Once you've shot down that last one, and then you deal enough damage in the second phase while the Oni is vulnerable once again to completely kill her this time, that is just simply the appetizer to the main boss, which is Nixara, and you'll get teleported up to the Pack-a-Punch machine where you'll be introduced to the massive dragon. Now, this is where the true fight begins, and I'll give you a couple pointers. The boss isn't too complex. This is not a hard fight exactly. You just need to know how it works. Now, similar as earlier, if you capture these flags, you completely capture these wards, it will give you a bubble of invulnerability. Nothing she do can hurt you, or zombies can hurt you either. So it's really important that you get comfortable with these and you know how to activate them. You can activate more by killing Onis and getting flags and then placing them down to charge. This is great for damage phases and will be necessary because a lot of Nixara's moves do hit pretty hard. Just focus on capturing flags and dealing damage to her. The eyes and other glowing spots are weak, of course, and that's where you'll get the maximum amount of damage, and you're just going to rinse and repeat this throughout the entire fight. If you lose one of these bubble shields, just kill another Oni that will have a flag, and then move on, and you will need that to progress into certain phases of the boss. So just focus on flags, charge them, deal damage to the dragon, rinse and repeat until dead. And as always, guys, I'm not going to show you the cutscene. I'm going to let you experience that for yourself in-game, but once you get the idea, just rinse and repeat until dragon is dead. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it. I really hope this video helped. Let me know if it did, and good luck on this Easter egg. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.